Okay, I'm going to be straight up here from the get-go. This entire video is going to be me ripping on Bethesda. I will also be making a genuine effort to do it in as searing and vitriolic a way as possible while still communicating the necessary information and not getting banned from YouTube for being mean to their precious little corporations. But without further ado, let's get started. Most people who follow this channel know about Fallout 76, the Hindenburg of gaming, the Titanic of open world RPGs. But what you might not know, at least not yet anyways, is that for $100 a year, you, yes you can get a Fallout First subscription and play more of this garbage with more garbage to collect your garbage and a bunch of garbage that they said was impossible garbage, so you are probably super lucky, am I right? Jokes aside, this is where we're at. The Fallout First subscription for $100 a year, actually more if you don't get the yearly bundle with the discount or whatever, just got announced, and it will give you the following: private worlds, unlimited scrap storage, a fast travel and basic necessities survival tent, monthly items, an outfit, and some other useless junk like icons and emotes. Let's really dive in. Private worlds on the most fundamental level are not a bad thing. The community did want private worlds. They do want the ability to host their own servers. But just like about everything else Bethesda does, since they are a trash tier company with little to no integrity left, it's butchered. The private worlds are all hosted directly through Bethesda, so that means no valuable control over them. Not to mention the fact it is limited to 8, yes, 8 people. That is a tiny fraction of what the actual game itself holds, and also eliminates the possibility of hosting meaningful player-populated alternatives to the retail game, which is probably exactly what Bethesda wants. Right off the bat, butchered. But this is where it gets really bad. The next item on the list is unlimited crafting component storage. This blows my mind, truly, it does. Fallout 76 was and is a disaster from top to bottom. That much is very well known. But one of the worst and most frustrating issues, an issue I myself encountered after mere hours of playing initially, is the weight limit on your stash container. Fallout is about hoarding gear, gathering items, and stocking up on junk. It always has been, but for weeks, even months, the community was handcuffed by minuscule storage sizes and could be heard far and wide begging for an increase. Incrementally, Bethesda upped the size, but along the way, there was a very suspect excuse for the decrepit state of their game. We can't allow more storage because the game will literally crash. I'm not kidding. That might sound like a joke, but it's not. One of the deflections used to pacify or subdue their critics was that the game simply couldn't have more storage because it would be too taxing on their servers. Even allowing a surface level belief that their excuse was true, which it obviously wasn't, that is like saying our product is such garbage and we are so incompetent that you cannot even have comfortable item storage in a game that is all about gathering junk. But wait, just kidding, because now everyone who pays them a monthly subscription can have unlimited crafting material storage. And crafting materials have weight, and the stash capacity weight limit was the primary limiting factor used to prevent players from crashing the server with too much storage. So what's the deal? The deal is they are selling a convenience feature, which they lied about to their desperate player base who has been begging for that same feature since the game came out. Hold up, there's more. Bethesda, and more specifically their VP of Marketing, Pete Hines, said pointedly, specifically, and definitively pre-release on multiple occasions at separate conventions that Fallout 76 would not be selling anything other than cosmetic items in their atomic shop. That was the commitment, the given word, the promise that helped build up a fleeting hope that this game might not be total garbage, but who cares? This isn't the first step down the road of pay to win and gameplay augmentations in the store. It started with repair kits, which undeniably affect gameplay and directly contradicted their previous commitments. It evolved to junk bots or collectors or whatever the hell they are exactly. And now it is unlimited storage, which is probably one of the biggest features that the community needed, wanted, and requested, which is effectively half the premise of the game directly available for a subscription. Then there is the survival tent. It's basically just another camp like you already have, but it's yet again a gameplay impacting feature being sold in direct contradiction to their previous commitments. Also, the added salt in the wound, it cuts down on the caps needed to fast travel around the map, and further plays into the argument that this game has been progressing straight down the road of pay to win, and Bethesda does not care in the slightest about their word, their integrity, and their reputation. After that are the atoms, their garbage currency for their trashy title in their disgusting store, and then some useless cosmetics. But the pure arrogance behind this is staggering. Let's frame it a different way now. The Outer Worlds, a Fallout-esque RPG from Obsidian, which is slated for release in a couple of days, is void of microtransactions entirely. It is a true single-player narrative from the developers behind Fallout New Vegas, arguably the best Fallout in the entire series, that seeks to deliver on what players have been asking for, and right in front of it, Bethesda releases a $100 embarrassment of a subscription that centers around one of the worst games in history, completely undermining their past commitments and excuses, and it's just disgustingly light on content for a ridiculous price. Other subscription services offer dozens of games, like entire games, for a similar price tag. But Fallout First, you get some trash and you get to pay tons for it in true Bethesda fashion. I could list their failures surrounding this game for days, from bugs and glitches to the canvas bag, lying about materials, about shortages, with shady follow-ups, half-assed Atom compensation, doxing their customers when they tried to get a replacement, producing horrifically low-quality third-party merch, like the Nuka Dark Rum, or having their other partnered merchandise helmets get recalled for toxic mold. Bethesda is an embarrassment of a company. The only value I can see in this maneuver, which isn't even value honestly, is maybe dominating the news cycle right as Outer Worlds becomes available. But even then, it won't work because that domination would be purely negative. And I know, at least on a personal level, I will absolutely be playing and reviewing the Outer Worlds almost because it is a competitor to Bethesda and Fallout. I didn't get a review copy like these other dick-sucking outlets and creators who inevitably praise or temper their words for everything they get sent to keep their connections open, but I'm pretty sure the game will be right up my alley, and I'm honestly looking forward to it. The team behind Fallout 76 should be ashamed. The state of the game, its release quality, its merchandise, the monetization, broken promises, lies, unfinished infrastructure, the list goes on. And right about now is when people will get all sensitive, like, oh no, but people worked hard, we have to appreciate them, we have to be nice, if you can't be kind, don't say anything at all, blah blah blah. No, honestly, no. At a certain point, it needs to be said that this entire endeavor is an embarrassing failure. When I worked on larger projects in the past as part of a substantial team, and it came out badly, it was time for us to reflect on our own failure and improve, because simply hiding behind the mask of individuality and dodging responsibility on a collective venture does nothing but mitigate the very real and very necessary sting of having been a part of a disgusting and unacceptably low-quality product release that continues to dominate the news cycle months later as it is paraded around by a company that has lost all credibility and good faith. Other Bethesda titles will suffer because of this. It may not be as severe as some will claim, or understandably are hoping it to be, owing to a large disconnect between franchise fans that might not necessarily overlap, but Bethesda is proving over and over that they are a lying corporate entity that does not care about their fans, their supporters, or their own image. The singular and eclipsing goal of Bethesda is to exploit their user base as hard as possible at every opportunity, and the mindless, gut-wrenchingly naive brats who defend this behavior are directly contributing to the decline of an industry that is plagued by issues far more complex than simple greed, but when even the most blatant examples are met with a mixed reaction instead of raging backlash, they will incrementally continue down the path of user exploitation. I find it necessary to clarify here, in a very antagonistic way, honestly, the argument of, well, it's just cosmetic, or if you don't want it, don't buy it, is no longer relevant. If you were about to type that, or even thinking that internally, subtract yourself from this channel, and please, genuinely, from gaming as a whole. The argument could have merit in certain circumstances, when articulated properly in light of a very specific chain of events, but here, right now, it has no value, no truth, and no credibility. Bethesda constructed an inadequate product. Players begged for solutions to that inadequacy, and then rather than fixing the mess they pathetically kicked out the door, they sell the fixes back to you. The option for custom servers, as I said originally, is not intrinsically bad, but when you gate those servers behind an overpriced subscription with limited functionality, very limited functionality I might add, that effectively hamstrings the game itself, you are not fulfilling a community desire, you are not doing right by your player base, you are spitting in their face. If this were to be a Minecraft-esque scenario where custom realms are fully opened up for user control, that would be entirely different and my tone would reflect it. The creativity of the community itself far surpasses the developers. In any game where modding is embraced with a significant degree of popularity, you will find the absolute best experience is born of user-generated content. The abilities and creativity of the community at large, when that community is substantial enough, are by far and away superior in every single metric to the actual development team. But that is not what Bethesda wants. That is not what Bethesda cares about. Bethesda cares only for the drip-fed infusion of willing buyers who are happy to pay more for less more often while getting spit on. Companies appear to genuinely compete now for who can make the worst decisions. Maybe it's just me and my own evolving cynicism, but it never used to feel like this or be this bad. EA, Bethesda, Activision Blizzard, they all seem to operate within an alternate reality where they intentionally release tone-deaf statements, greenlight horrible marketing calls, or otherwise make decisions that could only end in backlash. But they are either too stupid or too greedy to know or care. In the case of Bethesda, I am convinced they are simultaneously too stupid to realize, with their management being wholly undeserving of their positions, and also too greedy to care, even if they were smart enough to realize. Bethesda needs an overhaul, a lot of people need to get fired, and a very real shift must occur if they want to start rebuilding the dumpster fire that is their brand. That's it for today. It may seem hard to believe, but I do genuinely, normally try to temper my words in videos. Some of the Fallout 76 brain-dead fans will still defend this or post whiny little needle-dick Reddit threads like, oh, that guy? He's awful because of X and Y and Z, and I'm a Reddit connoisseur. It's happened before many times, but I don't really care about being diplomatic anymore. Not with Bethesda or Fallout 76. Go ahead, blacklist me. You're shit, Bethesda. There's links down below for those who want to support Patreon, merch, Twitter, whatever else, but I'll cut it there and stop rambling. As always, thank you all for watching, and have a nice night.